Well, this is pretty cool to be in a sea of yellow and some familiar territory here at the JCB booth. As you guys may have seen in some previous videos, we just finished playing with a couple similar telehandlers to these at the show. A couple of these are pre-production models to be unveiled hopefully shortly or here at the show. A couple of sizes and configurations that will improve the offering from JCB telehandlers.
Never realized this, but yes, I'm wearing the same color pattern as JCB. Or is that orange? Yellow or orange? Close enough. But talk about having a telehandler for every application and material handling tool that you need for every application. Pretty crazy. There are pieces of equipment from JCB that I never knew existed. And I've watched every marketing collateral that they had, or that I thought they had. They have their range of electric equipment, which is super interesting because electric vehicles, I know that's a subject of mixed reviews in the world economy, but you know, electric has the opportunity to be perfect in certain applications. Some of those applications like indoor environments, so material handling, indoor environments where you can't have maybe a propane tank on a forklift or something like that. Electric's a perfect option, especially when you have the charging electricity available to you. So they have a small division of electric material handling devices, but now they also have devoted a lot of their time and energy, if not the remaining, to hydrogen power. And that to me is super, super cool. Hydrogen is a contender for the way of the future. They've taken what they know about diesel technology and moved that into hydrogen technology, and they're crushing it. I know those tractors aren't necessarily out in full sales yet or on full construction sites yet, but they're coming. And check this out, JCB hydrogen engines, electric motors I should say. Pretty cool. Good job, JCB.
Speaking of new toys, something that might not be new to the world, but it's new to us, is the Fastrac Icon. I'm not sure how many of you know this or may have picked this up in other videos or content, but we actually took possession of one of the last Fastrac 4220s that was a non-Icon. Before the Icon was unveiled, we just picked this unit up. It was one of the very last ones made, and we absolutely love that tractor. However, we are stoked for the new product changes in the Icon cab and connection and configure features that console and cab offers now. The trade show booth here has a Icon console on display that is actually operational as far as the interface and functions. So let's go play with this Icon console and see what we can learn.
I've made a new friend, Poppy. Nice name, by the way. When I was first introduced to Poppy here, it made me think of a story that happened 2 days ago. If you don't mind, I'll tell you real quick.
Yeah.
When we were flying here, our flights got changed, and we were originally coming through Amsterdam, ended up going through Frankfurt, London and Frankfurt. We had a bunch of connections to get here. And one of the most sombering moments I've ever seen was the hustle and bustle of London Heathrow Airport on November 11th. If anyone has ever been through London Heathrow, it's a very, very busy airport. At 11 a.m. when they sounded the trumpets, that entire airport, London Heathrow, came to a stop. There wasn't anything. I heard one cell phone ring, but people can't avoid that. I have never seen that. To see thousands of people in an airport come to a complete stop was a super humbling experience, and so we'll use that as a good opportunity to thank everybody that has served, that has serving, and that's made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you for that. But your name reminded me of that quick story, so thanks for letting me tell you that story. Thanks for showing me this.
So we launched the new Icon software in April 2022, as we were just talking about. And when we launched it, it worked on 3 very clear principles. So I configure, I connect, and I control. And those 3 points are what sums up the majority of the machine. So we start with I configure, and that's the creation of a bespoke operator environment.
Yes.
And that's essentially setting this machine up as it suits you, or the implement you're using, or the application you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got 5 main buttons on this joystick and 4 on this joystick. On this one, you've also got this axis, and the thumb roller here.
So if your Fastrac had a loader,
You can
You could
tee
be-
into it. It's not a direct input, but you can tee into the
Okay.
valve.
Okay.
This is your proportional controls for any of your spools and your front hitch if you've got one.
Yes.
And this has got 2 modes of configuration as well, A and B, so you can assign either. So you'll see at the moment we're in B mode. If you tap this, that will take you into the other mode, and you'll see that the buttons have lit up to show you which mode you're in.
Perfect.
So you can quickly identify, and that's for ease of use and for safety. So you're not going to, knock this back wondering what it is. You can
Yeah.
go straight in knowing that's the blue
So
ball.
what would be a good implement to use that as a reference? So if you're toggling between implements, you would have maybe your settings set up for one
Yeah,
on one implement and B for a separate implement. When you toggle back and forth, you just
yeah. Or if you had something on the front and something on the rear, for example, you could switch between those like that,
okay.
and then know that you've got your rear implement controls on aux A and your front implement controls on aux B. But it's
Okay.
completely up to you how you make use.
Okay. So we run triple mowers.
Okay.
So we could, and during haying season, they come on and off a lot. We could have a profile set for the triple mowers on here, or would you be more?
So.
Would it be more efficient to use the main
Go
joystick?
ahead and do one. So we're going to start a new profile. So you said you wanted it set up for your mowers. So that's set now as a clear profile, and we can edit that. And are they isobus mowers?
Yes.
So as soon as you plug in, all of that information will come into the machine. So it will know the width and that sort of stuff will be stored as well.
Oh, sorry. No, they're not that data is.
Okay, that's
sorry.
fine. It doesn't. You can still go ahead and
Okay.
configure it. So we've just set up a control profile called mowers, and you can come in here and edit it. And this shows all of the functions you can assign. So when you're mowing, what controls do you want to hand?
Lifting. So when you get your to your headlands, the hydraulics,
Front hitch.
front hydraulics first.
Okay. So that's on a spool on a QRC, is it?
Front, yeah, usually the gray one.
Yep. So for example, any of those, if you want it proportional, so you can lift it as you want, that will be on this joystick. But if you want to extend, retract, then you can assign it, for example, to button 1. Okay, so that will be green spool, retract.
Yes.
Yep. What else do you tend to need to hand?
Rear spool retract would be the next.
Yep, so that would be the same application again. Just going into your hydraulics, choosing the relevant spool.
Okay, so when we get to the headlands, we just hit the button once and the front mower comes up, and then when the front mower passes the headland, we hit it again and the rear comes up.
Yep, so you'd have button 1 for green, button 2 for red.
Oh, perfect. So you just,
Yep, you can flick between them like that.
perfect. And then you could just hit the same button again to go back down as the second operation.
Yep, if you wanted, you could have button 3 as green spool, extend to go back how you want it.
It's really nice having the drag and drop.
Yes, it's very familiar in
Yes.
terms of using phones and iPads and stuff like that. Your hitches can be assigned as well. So you've got hitch raise and lower on the buttons if you wanted to drop your 3-point linkage
Yes.
on both front or rear. ETOs, work lights, camera trigger, everything like that you can assign through there.
Perfect. So our linkage heights, as an example, where would you see that screen?
So we've only got a rear hitch set up on this
Yep,
machine.
that's fine.
So that would be in there.
Perfect. Yeah, just sometimes throughout the day you want to just check and see, make sure your linkage
Yeah, so that-
position stayed the same.
When you set this as well, these functions will save to your mower work profile.
Perfect.
So if you set your max raise to 68, 70%, anywhere around there, that will carry over as well.
Great.
So if you then jumped in when you had a drill on the back and changed it to drill,
Yes.
and then set your raise to 30%, for example, when you went back into this mowers, it would carry back over to 78%.
Wow. That's all really exciting because right now we have, with the older system, every time we change an implement, we almost have to have like a cheat sheet available to remember how to have it set up to our preferences, because sometimes it's only an implement you only use once a year, like a set of mowers. Well, you're familiar with how to change the settings throughout the season, toggling back. But then once you're outside of the season and you move on to other things, next spring when you go to hook onto them, you are at a complete loss.
A lot of it.
So being able to save that profile is
so
super
you can
helpful.
save up to 50 of those as well.
50?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Perfect.
And that's one of the biggest changes, as we were saying, with that idea of I configure, is making it as configurable and easy as possible. And like you say, not only is it easier for you not having to think about it each time, it should save a lot of time as well. You've only got to do it that once. You don't have to go through and settle all of your settings each time.
Yes.
It's just sort of falls at your fingertips.
So it's I configure, I connect.
Yep, so then iConnect is integration of precision technology. So your GPS and ICBus. What GPS system are you using at the moment?
John Deere.
Yep, so in every Icon tractor, we package for you to be able to fit those third-party providers. So on the A pillar, we've got a bulkhead in behind the passenger seat and up in the roof as well to be able to fit those implements. You would just need to supply the additional hardware necessary.
Yep.
Yeah. In terms of JCB GPS, I know that that's not something you'd be utilising as such, but that is fully integrated into the system as well. And
so whose GPS system is?
This is our GPS system, so fully developed by JCB, but we use a Novatel receiver.
Perfect. Okay.
So that's all on there as well. One of the updates we've made recently has allowed us to have more GPS views as well. So this is the full screen GPS. This machine's not got an ICBus implement set up, so you won't see us in much detail as you will in that one. But here in the UT section, we offer a large ICBus screen, a small GPS screen, and then an overview of tractor functions as well.
So the reason I asked if this was a JCB ISO GPS system was because I was curious if is going to relay the information to the sync system. So the telematics of the unit. So
the GPS data can come out. We've got a USB stick input in here that you can access data as well.
Perfect. So the reason we would use that is for our farm, obviously we'll use something like a John Deere Operations Center program or a third-party program, and a lot of the times we'd want to take our profile settings. Field boundaries are big, so you understand your harvestable or stated acres for the year. So we'd want to just be able to have that data, and obviously that's pretty achievable here.
If you didn't have JCB GPS and you were just offering or had the ISOBUS option, you would have this information in here for you as well. So you'd be able to see your ISO controls.
Perfect. And then all the tractor data is pretty self-explanatory. Everyone knows.
And again, like we were saying, in terms of ease of use, everything is on a tile-based system to allow you to access the information as you want it. We're not trying to overwhelm you with information. You can just click into each of these tiles, for example, your engine RPMs, and see more detail there. And you can make the amends to your presets, and the buttons are just on the side of it.
Oh, perfect. Maximum RPM.
Yeah, but when you're looking at the screen, you're not overwhelmed with information. You can just get to it as you want and see the information like that.
Oh, perfect. So the home screen, the button to take you to the home screen is obviously the picture of a house here.
Yeah, and there's a hard key as well. So if you've got, oil on your hands or anything and you don't want to be dragging your hands over the screen, there's a more tactile approach down there as well to be able to flip through everything as you want to.
Perfect. And all the hard touch screen or hard buttons for the 3-point hitch, all of the HVAC and
fully integrated.
Obviously there's a Bluetooth phone built into the system now.
So then
is the radio on here, or is there still a radio?
So the radio head unit is still at the top, but you don't need to use it. It's all integrated into here along with your speed controls.
Perfect. The microphone works pretty good while you're making a lot of noise.
Yes. Luckily, we've got a nice quiet cab, so
that's right.
So that sums up the integration side of things. So our last point is back to that iConnect, and that's how you control the machine.
So, okay, I configure.
iConnect, and now on,
I control. Okay, gotcha.
So you'll know with your previous generation of machine that it had quite a big unit up to the right.
On a pillar,
And if you wanted to change your drive profiles, you would have to, or the drive modes, you'd have to click on the screen, wouldn't you? Now you can quite literally drive it how you want it. So we obviously still on the foot pedal.
Yes.
Easy. You can move onto the joystick as well. So push forward to speed up, pull back to slow down, and you'll see a little joystick there. And the third mode we offer is the user cruise. So on that one, you tap the joystick to the right, you'll get this pop-up, and then you've got machine control based off your thumb roller here.
Yes, and this is variable, so you can make smaller.
Yeah, so really minor increment changes.
Yes.
If you're against a forager or a combine and you need that fine speed control, that's probably the best mode to use it.
Yes.
You've
Perfect.
also got 2 cruise speed modes here.
Oh, that'll be nice to save one of those.
Yeah, so in here your high range cruises, 1 and 2, and in low range as well.
Perfect.
And a speed limiter in the center.
Oh, well, would that be similar to the FX mode?
No, so that's just operating within a speed.
Oh, so just a plain max speed.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice to have the throttle so close by versus over here. We're gonna notice that a lot.
Yes, that's a lot of the design was to be ergonomic, so you're not having to stretch.
Yeah, your elbow pretty much. You can achieve anything that you need to within pivoting your elbow, not moving your arm.
It's a lot more of an ergonomic.
Right, moving your arm to up here.
With that comes the increased visibility as well, because there's no blockage of any glass.
Sometimes approaching an intersection, I don't mean to point at your face, but when the
When it's right.
screen was here, you just have to look around it to make sure you're being safe. And the elephant in the room for me is not only how cool this is, but having the PTO switches close by. Is the park brake also?
That
a
would
clip
be,
here.
have a look in one of the actual
Sure.
machines in a minute, but it's an electric park brake at the bottom of your B pillar.
Perfect. So that's great to have it close.
Yeah, right next to the key.
Awesome. Oh, that was going to be another question is where does it start? But to have our PTOs here, for our viewers that have watched, we have a video, it was called Hard Hits in Hayfields, where we hit a couple pretty nasty rocks while using our triple mowers. And when you hit something with anything, let alone a PTO driven implement, we had to reach here, and it was very time consuming to turn off the PTO because it was a reach. So having those close by for safety as well, let alone machine safety,
Yes.
having the PTO switches, that's going to be a big one for me. Very happy to have those really close by.
The other thing you could do, if you wanted the controls even closer to hand, is again going back into that work profile that you've got for PTOs. You can just assign the function to stop and start on there. So now number 4 will stop your PTO or start your PTO. So it's all about that configurability to have everything to hand as you need it.
Perfect. So thanks for saying that, because here I was thinking this was nice just to be able to move your wrist and hit the button.
You don't need to
And now we don't even need to do that. We can program one of the buttons on the joystick.
Yeah.
That's even better.
There's very few controls that you can't assign on there. So essentially everything along here is what you can put on there.
Okay, so this is an air conditioned seat now as well.
So just to the other
Can we
side,
put the air conditioned seat control?
No, that little switch on the side.
That's
I'm
the one.
afraid.
That's the one you can't do.
Moving in the cab.
We just did another video of I was doing a handstand. It's called tractor yoga, and I was leaning up against. So I understand how important the stretching will be. Okay, that was a very good description. Obviously, some of the stuff we're not going to go into. Having the hydraulic levers illuminated is going to be a very neat thing, because sometimes at night when you're going to grab something in a hurry, you're relying 100% on muscle memory. You'd hate to have to turn on the light in the cab in order to do that.
Yeah.
So the fact these are illuminated, I realize that's a small thing. Some people might look at it as a gimmick, but it's not. There's probably a bit more importance to having those illuminated, so that's nice too. Obviously, I could sit in this seat here all day. There's a lot of people probably wanting to make you start over on that whole spiel again, but if you don't mind, we'll wrap it up. Thank you for
that's okay.
in-depth walkthrough on that. For a few people that know the story already, we took possession of one of the very last 4220s that was not an Icon, and we got that tractor home, and within, I think, 15 minutes of being home, I sat down on the couch, had a big smile on my face because I knew there's a new tractor at the farm.
and I fired up YouTube, and the unveil video from JCB came up on the icons. So I know a lot of this isn't new to the world. This has been seen. People have been using this. This is super exciting to me because.
And you'll know firsthand just the improvements we've made as well. If you've seen the old ones, then I'm sure you'll love this.
Absolutely. I better get out of the lineup here.
Hey,
Thanks for showing me this. Thank you.
Brilliant. Good to meet you.
Amazing. Thanks.